Should we go through really quick? I put together the top three players in each role.
Yep.
I just want to get your opinions. It's a lot of the same teams, players on the same teams, kind of just recycled in different
Sure.
orders,
Yeah.
right? I think you could kind of make assumptions on who a lot of these players are going to be.
I think
Um,
it's pretty fair to say that there are three kind of top favorites to win this tournament. So I'm kind of expecting we see a lot of players from those teams.
yeah, yeah. So let's just get started with top lane here.
Yeah.
Ben to me is by far the number one top laner in this tournament. Um, just a dominance internationally, domestically. He's kind of like the pillar of top lane. Like
Yeah.
he's kind of like the, I don't know, the blueprint, I guess, for a perfect top laner.
He's that guy.
Yeah.
It's not like last year it was like Ben or 369 or now it's like it's Ben.
Yeah.
It's just Ben.
Yeah. So Ben's my number one. Then we got Keen is number two for me. I think he's just been so consistent all year. And then I couldn't decide for number three, but I have Zeus and Zika actually from
Really?
LG.
369 not even making top four, huh?
Yeah. So 369, he's been kind of like relegated to like a more tanky role for sure. Haven't really seen him play many carries. Kind of leaving that to Cream and Jackie Love for sure.
Mm-mm.
So I think Zika, when he's given the chance to carry, just like Zeus, whenever these two players have a chance to carry in their games, they absolutely carry. Like they go silly. So I'm expecting really big performances out of both those guys if their teams want to do well.
I can respect that list. I like that.
Yeah.
Ben number one for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, I like that. I think that's good.
Yeah. Jungle's a little predictable as well, I think.
Sure.
I have Canyon number one. I don't think there's any dispute on that one. And then I have Peanut. Peanut surprised me all summer. Just with how smart he's been, how well he's been playing with Delight as well, and it showed with HLE's final result in LCK.
That guy's a madman for sure.
Oh yeah. And then I have Wei from BLG. His same thing. Like he's turned around BLG so much. It's kind of crazy how much he's actually turned these guys around, because it was really close between BLG and Top Esports before, and all the other teams within LPL. But since they've added Wei, they've looked unstoppable. Like nothing's been close. And I think I saw some stat that Wei and Ben together are like 6-0 in best of fives or something like that. So they're like super dominant together.
Insane.
So I'm expecting some pretty big things out of Wei. And so he's number three on my jungler list.
Wasn't Wei jailed on RNG?
Yeah.
Bro, RNG is the prison, man.
Dude, it's crazy.
Just jailing every good player in the LPL. That's crazy. Yeah, the same thing to Breathe, right?
Breathe, yep. They didn't really jail Gala, but Gala came from RNG, and then
they're
obviously
trying to jail Milky Way, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dude.
I think they're getting him back for next year. So
the fall from grace from RNG is so insane. Used to be like, Uzi days, Xiaohu days, like insane, best LPL team. Mm-hmm. Now they're just perma jailing all the good players and like bottoming the standings.
It's crazy. It's whatever. It's nuts. It's nuts. them and EDG, like fall from grace is absolutely nutty.
Big L.
Yeah, but yeah, Wei's gonna be nasty for BLG. Obviously, BLG is gonna be nasty.
Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah. So for mid lane, also not really okay. There's some debate probably, but Chovy Knight is 1A, 1B.
Yeah. It's got to be Chovy 1. Knight is 2 for sure, but it's so hard not to put Chovy 1.
Chovy is probably the best player in the world still, even after losing LCK finals. Like, it's hard not to give him that title right now. Yeah. Heavy's the crown, right? So Chovy, right?
Bro, you're about to get a whole hate thread from T1 fans on that one.
Oh yeah. Anyways, let's move on. Knight's number 2. hard to argue against the golden left hand right there. And then I have Zeka third.
Really?
Yeah, so this one's definitely the most debatable. You have guys like Caps, you have guys like Cream, Scout, Showmaker, right? I think this meta looks very similar to 2022. I've seen a few Akali's picked. I've seen some Yone's picked. Um, I haven't seen any. I don't think I've seen any Silas. But whenever I see Akali, all I can remember is Zeka absolutely smurfing all through the playoffs of Worlds 2022, and he's coming off a LCK Finals MVP. He's coming off first place.
I
I
think,
think
remind me if I'm wrong, but I think he specifically styled on Scout
he
in
did.
that
He
playoffs, right? He specifically,
yeah,
I think he solo killed him like 6 times in one game or something. Maybe my memory is crazy, but I seem to remember something about specifically Zeka putting on a entire highlight reel in one game versus I think specifically your boy Scout. So
I actually don't remember that. I just remember Zeka doing some crazy things to someone from EDG. It might have been Scout. I just
right, sure,
yeah.
yeah,
What
yeah, yeah.
are yeah. It could have been anyone.
Really, it could have been any mid laner from EDG at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They had so many, right?
yeah. I'll be first aboard the Zeka train though. If we can get some Akali picks in here, if we can get, I mean, Yone would be hype as
His
well.
Yone's nasty. His
Yeah,
Tristana looked pretty good too.
yeah,
I mean, it's a lot of aggressive mid laner picks with the exceptions of like there's some Syndras in there. I think there's some LeBlanc as well. I don't know how LeBlanc is, but I think Zek is gonna have a really fun time with this meta, and I think HLE is gonna have a really fun time with it as well. Um, so
I'm fully on board for another World Zeka performance. That was actually historic.
Yeah.
2 years ago. So if we can get that again, I'll be first aboard. I'll buy a ticket. I'll join the hype train. I'm with it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's hard. There's guys like Caps who, by far, the best player within the regions, right?
Yep.
It's hard to argue with like a Showmaker or Cream as well. But I think Zeka right now with what he's accomplished most recently, it's hard not to have him as a top 3 mid laner.
I respect it.
Yeah,
I like it.
And then ADC, we'll run through the rest of these pretty quickly here. I have Viper as my number 1 ADC. I'm a Viper homer.
Yeah.
So of course I'm gonna have him pretty high up there. Realistically, Elk could be up there. I think Viper and Elk though are 1 and 2 right now, and then I have Peyz and Light as kind of like a 3A 3B.
Sure.
Light is the same. Peyz and Light, they're kind of like Zeus and Zika, where if you give them the chance to carry, like if they snowball, your team is screwed. They're gonna win the game no matter what. So they're kind of like they rely a lot on their team playing for them. So that's why I have them third. But when they do get played for and set up, they're unstoppable. It's hard to beat either of those guys when they're fed.
Yeah.
So
I was going to be surprised if we didn't see Peyz in that 3 spot. I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that. Viper, Elk, Peyz, Light. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Light's going to surprise a lot of people as well. Weibo honestly didn't do that bad. Towards the latter half of the season, they're actually, in my mind, probably the second best team in the LPL, and a lot of that came from Light. So, and then for supports, I've Delight as number 1.
Okay.
He looked nasty as well during LCK finals and just all throughout playoffs in general.
Yeah.
And then On is number 2. He's also disgusting. I think he has some of the sickest Alistar games I've ever seen. And then you have Leheads.
Alvaro's coming for him though.
Yeah.
Alvaro's coming for him on those Alistar plays. That guy might be the faker of plans.
Dude, his rel was nasty too.
Honestly insane.
Yeah.
Sorry, who's your 3? I talked over you.
It's Leheads. Which
okay, yeah.
I feel like, again, not much debate there. Again, with all these picks, there's certain guys that could definitely get slotted in there with that, 3-4 kind of bubble spot. But I think these guys are going to have the most impact for their teams, or they're going to show why they're some of the best laners in their respective lanes.
It's kind of funny if you just take HLE, Gen G, and BLG, and you take the players from those teams and you just kind of mix them up, slot them 1, 2, 3. You're not committing any crimes by doing that.
Yeah.
You know, there's certain players who are left out of that, like Doran, right? He wasn't on your top list. He's top laner for HLE, right? I'm not crazy. Okay.
Yep.
So there's certain players like that who maybe aren't top 3, but I don't think anyone would accuse you of committing any crimes if you just kind of mix those up and slotted them 1, 2, 3. But I do like your list. I think your list is well thought out.
Yeah. I try to throw in some other, there are some standout players from other teams.
For sure.
But with those big 3, I think right now those are, who we're expecting to be the top 3 teams, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard not to ignore those guys, right? So
it's hard too when you have like just a few like giga super teams. It's like, well, what do you expect? What do you,
yeah.
What do you think is going to happen?
You're leaving out other super teams as well. Like T1 just won Worlds. I don't know if you could call them a super team really, but like Top Esports, right? They're on paper a super team, right?
Yeah.
Even LNG on paper, those guys are a super team in my mind.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. But I think the strong, these guys have dominated both, their respective splits all year. HLE and Gen G have been 1 and 2 all year.
Yep.
BLG has been number 1 all year. So it's kind of hard to not think of those guys.
It's hard to argue with that. Yeah. It's a good look. Do you have 3 players that you are on the lookout for this Worlds? 3 specifics.
I do have 3 specific players that are none of these guys that I just mentioned.
I like it.
Yeah.
Hit me.
So number 1, I don't know if you've been on Twitter at all or YouTube, but there's been a lot of drama with this certain top laner.
Oh my God, are you about to say Bwipo?
I am about to say Bwipo.
That's who I had my number 1 too. My guy Bwipo carrying Worlds content for the past like month.
Yeah, it's crazy. These guys got here like a month ago, I want to say, and through their champions queue, all that stuff. There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of pretty bold statements. Yeah, coming out of Bwipo's mouth. A lot of like maybe lines crossed here as well. Everyone has their own opinions on the whole Bwipo and Vitality situation.
Pick a team.
Yeah.
He kind of went for everyone.
Yeah.
I'm not sure Bwipo's making a lot of friends right now.
Oh, yeah. He said, I'm out of EU. I'm not going back to LEC. So I'm going to just start a fire and leave it. He's either going to be really nasty at Worlds or he's going to be so bad. That's the thing.
Dude, if he's not nasty with it, he's going to get clowned on so hard.
Yeah.
He is never going to live this down if he's not like absolutely like dancing on everyone else.
Yeah.
If he's not like, oh man.
That's the one thing I took away from the whole thing is like, well, you gotta back your words up now.
Yeah.
And he's back in Europe, right? He's from Pole? No, where is he from? I don't know where he's from. Belgium, yeah, Belgium sounds right. Yeah.
I think so.
I think Belgium, yeah, I mean Belgium's in Europe, so
nice.
So he's back in Europe. I was going to say
we're in Sweden.
Swiss stage. Okay, all right. I was going to say something really stupid, and then I realized it was probably stupid. Yeah. So, yeah, Bwipo's like, I think that's definitely a guy we got to kind of keep an eye on. Like obviously there's going to be a little bit of a microscope on his play because of what happened. He's the number 1 seed from LCS. He loves to talk. I didn't get to watch too much Bwipo when I was, younger. So I'm really seeing the full force of how much he talks. And
yeah, that guy's
really
a
want to see him. Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, I thought APA talked a lot, right? But Bwipo's more like in front of the camera talking,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was there was that clip from what, MSI? Was it MSI? I don't remember. Where someone was interviewing Bwipo on stage and he talks for like several like minutes straight, and then the translator has to copy him or like translate what he just said, and just goes like hyperspeed translating everything he said.
Translator's fucked. Professional player, you should aspire. Translator's fucked. Your fans hopes. 那其实我觉得这无论如何是非常非常棒的一个整个的旅程，因为其实回到过去2018年的 MSI， 当时我不得不说，对我来讲，对于我整个的职业生涯来讲，都是非常非常重要的一场比赛。全力一直来为这个目标而奋斗，一直想做到最好。那我觉得我不单单的想要可能完成一个比较平均的一个比赛，我更多的是想要成为能够帮助我们队伍赢下比赛，帮助我们队伍走得更远，然后在世界的大舞台上证明自己的人。
That was so funny.
Yeah, Bwipo's a character, and
yeah.
He's either gonna be amazing or he's gonna suck. So we'll see. The second guy I think we should watch out for, and I think he's gonna be really detrimental, or I don't know if detrimental is the right word, but he's gonna be a really key factor in this team's success. Is Cream from Top Esports. So like. In my mind, when Top Esports is playing their best, it's when Cream is looking confident. He's playing aggressive. He's playing Top Esports brand of League of Legends, right? They've kind of gotten away from that, and I don't know if Cream's like. To me, he's like their cog, you know. Like if he's on, they're moving, but if he's not on, they're just kind of stuck in a rut. So I think Cream is kind of going to be like the tipping point for Top Esports if they're going to do well or not. If Cream's off, which he looked a little off at MSI, it's going to be a tough tournament for Top Esports. They made it as the second seed because of championship points, but they really fluttered out of LPL playoffs towards the end there. So
cream of the crop or straight spoiled? I was thinking of that the whole time you were talking.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
Oh God, move on fast. Oh God.
Anyways, my third player.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Mirwin. Actually, he's good enough to get. Okay, well, obviously BLG's playing MDK, right? So that's probably why B name called him, or called him out by name. But Mirwin is. He's a joker card, like I think for any team or any matchup, he's a joker card. We've seen him play some pretty crazy stuff in top lane. He's done it the whole year. I don't know. I don't think MDK is going to be a crazy team, but I think from a player standpoint, it's going to be really interesting and fun to see what Mirwin pulls out and see what he tries to do against some of these bigger name teams, right? See how that impacts their play, and if that throws off a team like a BLG, right? So I think their drafts are gonna be really interesting, and Mirwin's right at the center of all that.
Yeah, no, Mirwin is going to be unpredictable for sure. Mm-hmm. I think the whole MDK squad will be, but Mirwin in particular. Yeah, my three players, I had Bwipo as well. I had Alvaro, another MDK player, but that guy was actually just smurfing the entire plans. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know what's gotten into MDK in the last couple months, but Alvaro specifically looked completely unleashed in playoffs or plans. Yeah. So that guy is one to watch for me. I think you're right about Mirwin as well. I don't see their first game against BLG being one of the ones that's going to be like
a Lulu top.
Right. Yeah. It's going to be close. They're going to have crazy picks.
Yeah.
I think MDK is just going to get stomped by BLG. Yeah. But I think after they take the first loss to BLG, then they'll have some interesting stuff. They can mix it up. They might have a better shot. So
yeah. No, I was taking in Ben's quote for sure. Like, hey, save your crazy picks for after you play us because you'll need them. And I think knowing Matt, I think Mad, as long as they stick to that style of like being unpredictable, and Mirren pulls something out crazy, they're gonna be turning some heads. If I hate to say it, they might be turning some heads.
They might just turn some heads.
They just might. Or they just might go 0-3 or 0-2. Is it whatever?
Whatever. 4. 3, whatever. I don't, whatever it is.
Yeah.
My last one was actually Peyz,
Oh.
which it's funny that I feel the need to put him on a list of players to look out for because of the spot that he's in.
Yeah.
But I feel like this guy gets criminally underrated pretty constantly.
100% agree.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a lack of consistency or something, but just watch this guy, please. Just Peyz is going to do something crazy at some point in this tournament. There's going to be a front page Reddit article about Peyz, like for something that he does. I mean, MSI, 28 kills and a penta in the finals or whatever it was. Like, Peyz is like the kid prodigy. Something is going to happen.
Yeah.
Just keep your eye out. If Peyz is quiet this entire tournament, it'll be an anomaly. Mm-hmm. So
it'll be 100% agree. It'll be like way out of character for him. Which I think we saw a little bit last year at Worlds, maybe those first Worlds nerves, right? But this guy's got a lot of League of Legends under his belt. He's more than comfortable playing with all these superstars, and he sees himself as a superstar on this team. So, if you need someone who's going to get a pentakill or whatever, Peyz should be number 1 on that list because this guy's got like 10 pentakills, and he's been playing for like a year.
Yeah. Kid is cracked.
Yeah, he's pretty nasty.
Cool.
So those are some of the players that we want to look out for. Did you put together some teams